Daniel Theis is Yoda to Sengun's Luke Skywalker. He is Jiraiya to Sengun's Naruto. He is Rayleigh to Sengun's Luffy. Yo guys, what's going on? Today we're going to talk about why the Daniel Theis signing was such a great signing and why his presence will help mentor Alperen Sengun to be a complete player. So let's just start off with understanding who Daniel Theis is. His best year came 2 years ago with the Boston Celtics when he started 64 out of their 65 games. He averaged 9.25 points, 6.55 rebounds, 1.71 assists, 1.29 blocks, and half a steal per game. But more importantly, he shot 57% from the field and 33% from 3, which allowed him to be a very valuable role player in a starting position. Now, don't let his statistics mislead you. The reason why Daniel Theis is so good, the reason why we paid him $9 million a year, isn't because of what he portrays on the stat sheet, but honestly what he does that's not statistically included. For example, he is really good at setting screen. There is no such thing as a screen assist statistic that we can look at, but just watching his film, watching him play in the playoffs, and more importantly watching his highlights, you can tell immediately that his pick and roll game as the roll man and the one setting the screen is really advanced. His intuition in when to set the screen, especially determining where the ball carrier is coming down the court, is super important to the success of his pick and roll because it allows him to get the inside edge, which allows him to roll to the basket while the ball carrier is also going to the hoop, which creates a problem for the defensive big because now he's playing 2-on-1. In addition to setting screens, he's also really good defensively, not just getting blocks and steals, but he does all the small things like causing turnovers through charges or by knocking the ball off the other team and getting possession back. Just by watching him play, you can tell that statistics don't really show his true value. But the biggest thing is he only averages 24 minutes per game. We're not paying him to be a 30-minute per game starter. We're not paying him to take over the starting center role. We just need him as a stopgap until Sengun is ready to go. First of all, signing Theis was a really great move and super underrated. We didn't really need to retain Kelly Olynyk because what he provided is something we already have. We have great offensive players from Wall to Kevin Porter Jr., Christian Wood, and Jalen Green. We don't really need offense. What we need are players who are defensive minded and do team first things, such as Daniel Theis, who won't mind setting screens, won't mind playing defense, won't mind doing all the nitty gritty things, and even if Alperen Sengun explodes, he won't even mind going to the bench because we're paying him $9 million a year. So I really think he's a great signing and he fits with this team super well. His role on this team is completely different from everyone else's, which is why he's such a seamless fit onto this roster. But the big reason I think we signed Theis, and if this is true, I think Stone is a mastermind and a genius, is because I really think he can mentor Alperen Sengun. This idea is going to be tricky to explain, but bear with me. First of all, I just want to make this point. Alperen Sengun's current offensive game, especially his on-ball offensive game, is way better than whatever Daniel Theis is already contributing to the team offensively, especially with the ball in his hands. And I don't think Daniel Theis can really help him offensively. The only way I see Daniel Theis helping Alperen develop his offensive game when he has the ball is in scrimmages and practices when they mark each other, because I think the fact that Daniel Theis is such a great defender and such a smart defender is going to challenge Alperen Sengun, and this will allow LP to sharpen his offensive game against the NBA level defender. But now why I think Daniel Theis was brought in to mentor Alperen Sengun is because of what Daniel Theis does so well when he's not touching the ball. Outside of scoring the ball and playmaking, I think Alperen Sengun can really learn a lot from Daniel Theis. If he is able to master the Daniel Theis components into his game, he's going to be a complete player. And a complete player means he's going to be playing on the court and he won't be a liability on the defensive end. What you have to understand is what Alperen Sengun did in the Summer League, he needs to replicate that in the NBA. The NBA and the Summer League are two different things, and the fact that Daniel Theis is doing this in the NBA is something to take note of. I think if Alperen Sengun can learn from Daniel Theis about the way he sets screens, about the way he moves off the ball, about the way he operates the pick and roll, about the way he's able to get both offensive and defensive boards, the way he's able to block shots, and doing all of this when he's only 6'8", 240. Alperen is 6'10", 240. He has a 2-inch height disadvantage, yet he's doing all these things at such a above average level. It makes you think if Alperen can master what Daniel Theis does, he can be an elite defender. He can be an elite shot blocker. He can be elite in pick and roll defense. He could be an elite screen setter. And that doesn't even include the things he can do offensively with the ball in his hand, such as take other bigs off the dribble, get to the foul line super frequently, drop dimes, hit small defenders with post moves they've never even experienced, hit threes from the logo. Daniel Theis is 6'8", and honestly he's not that athletic. He doesn't really play above the rim. He's more down to earth, and he jumps when he needs to. Very similar to our guy Alperen Sengun. The similarities are insane when you take away the offensive dissimilarity. In my head, if I picture merging Daniel Theis' best attributes with Alperen Sengun's offensive game, you're looking at an all-NBA player. And I know that's a bit extreme, and I know it's a bit of a reach to think Stone signed Daniel Theis to teach Alperen Sengun how to play defense, how to rebound the ball, how to set screens. But let's be honest, Daniel Theis is a good player, and I think everyone this season will understand why we picked up Daniel Theis, and more importantly, why Stone is a genius. And another thing that kinda I think fell under the radar is Daniel Theis was also a foreign player. He played in the international league and he came to the NBA. There's no one on this team who can relate more to Alperen Sengun in that aspect than Daniel Theis. For everyone who forgot, before the summer league ended, Alperen Sengun went back to Turkey. Now why he went back to Turkey, we don't really know for sure, but I do think he kind of missed home and wanted to go back before the season started. It's probably super lonely for him over here when he doesn't know that much English. I mean, let's be honest, the "Hello Houston fans, I'm very happy" is probably the only thing he knows in English. But what I'm saying is there's tons of reasons why we signed Daniel Theis. And I think this is the biggest one, and I'll reiterate it. Stone is a genius, and Theis will mentor Alperen Sengun to be a complete player, both on the offensive end and on the defensive end. So is my theory and conclusion about Daniel Theis being on this team a big reach, or does it actually make some logical sense? Let me know in the comments below what you think. If you really like this video, just smash the like button, and if you want to see more of this content, subscribe. These are 2 other videos I think you'll be interested in, so check them out. Other than that,